thinking really quickly about data, the most critical data for us is really around supply, because for us, supply drives demand. And so identifying the right supply to both understand and recruit more of, as well as to leverage, is really important for us. So there's 3 different vectors that we look at. The first is geography, right? Because density in top markets is important. We look at service type. So a barber provides different services than an esthetician, than a hair colorist, than a hairstylist. So making sure we have the right array of services in a city is incredibly important. And then also the business size. So there's some stylists that are really booked and they only have a little bit of availability to put on StyleSeat in terms of availability for new clients to book. There's some stylists that have more. And so in order to identify how we drive liquidity in market, we have to make sure that we have the right breakdown of these 3 different vectors. And I'd say price is another one that's really important here. So we use this data to basically identify, if we look at the top neighborhoods in a city, rather than, for example, so because we're a freemium platform, we want everyone to sign up for StyleSeat, and we started by saying everyone who wants to sign up can sign up. But then we started to identify and understand is that really the majority of bookings are happening with just a small segment of supply. And so by identifying that supply and more deeply helping them, we help to improve the quality of our directory. So what we've done, another challenge with the beauty industry is that it's incredibly long tail, right? So there's hairstylists and the nail artists that don't do nail art, but they do regular services. And we've got, estheticians that do waxing, but then some don't. It's very, very long tail. And so in order to really truly support customers rather than oversaturating ourselves and spreading ourselves too thin, we first started with hair. And we marketed all of our marketing content around hair, and all of our product was really built towards them. And then as we've figured out that we can more easily support wider segments, we've moved on from there. We also targeted our top 10 metros rather than focusing on every city across the US and and everyone who wants to sign up. We really started to focus our marketing on top markets and doing a little bit of local marketing in those top 10 metros. And what this told us, and some of the results of that, is that the majority, so approaching 90% of our bookings, come from our top 25% of businesses. And so by identifying those businesses and really supporting them, not focusing customer support on sort of the long tail, really focusing customer support and account management on that top 25%, we saw incredible lift in bookings. We also found that supply is our primary growth driver. So almost 70% of bookings come directly from supply. So as stylists are bringing on their existing consumer base, those consumers are starting to use StyleSeat, and then we're finding that we can pull them deeper through the funnel and to book more often. It's also important for us to find our aha moment, right? So it's the people talk about it's the second Facebook identified that they wanted you to get 10 friends in 10 days. Once you did that, you became a Facebooker for life, right? And you became deeply engaged. We needed to find our aha moment as well so that we could galvanize the team towards hitting that metric so that we could get an exponential shift in engagement. And our aha moment was driving 2 client-booked appointments within the first 30 days of sign-up for a stylist on StyleSeat. And this could be their existing clients, it could be new clients, but the fundamental shift of this is a tool for me to run my business on my own versus, oh, this is a tool for me and my clients love it, I'm getting new bookings or my existing clients are into this, was a fundamental shift for them. And once they made that shift, they uploaded more appointments, they added to their portfolio, they started really deeply engaging their clients on the platform. So in terms of finding that, it's a little bit of an art and a little bit of a science. We had a couple of analysts looking for, over a couple of months to help us find that. We would test a couple of different factors. So we had hypotheses on what it could be. We made those hypotheses and then we tested and looked at cohort data to see what actually drove that growth. This is where we ended up.
Let me just take a moment to thank our sponsor today, which is Braintree. They do mobile, they do billing, right? You just drop in a JavaScript code and all of a sudden you can take any form of payment. All of the startups I invest in seem to use them, including, I think Uber was one of the early clients. And you can go to braintreepayments.com/twist. to learn more. But mobile commerce is booming here and abroad, and it's 1/3 of U.S. commerce sales now. Singapore, Hong Kong, similar numbers. UK, 1/2 of e-commerce is mobile now. So people, when they're buying, are buying off of their phones. And whether your business is U.S.-based or expanding overseas, you want strong mobile. So some tips: make sure your biz looks great on small screens. Obviously, be optimized for the iPhone and Android phones. And whether that's a mobile optimized site or an app, so many people build their website and forget to make it mobile optimized. Build a smooth and simple checkout process. The fewer times a shopper has to click, the less likely they're abandon their cart, and that's obvious. But a lot of people still make their carts too hard to process. Accept local currencies. This is a big one, and know how people pay in different regions, because people want to pay the easiest way. And credit cards aren't everywhere. You got to offer some of the alternative payment methods to reach more customers. That's where Braintree comes involved. They are a global payments platform, and they have been powering mobile commerce from day one. The API really helps merchants deliver simple, efficient purchasing process for every consumer on every device. Like when Apple Pay came out, for example, they had it like the next day. Or they probably had it 100 days early because they were probably doing it so early. Braintree is just a great product. A lot of my startups use it. It's very easy for me to read this ad and tell you it's a good idea to visit braintreepayments.com/twist.